The female reproductive cycle. It's a complex and fascinating process, much like a beautifully orchestrated symphony. This intricate dance of hormones prepares a woman's body for the possibility of pregnancy each month. Understanding this cycle is crucial for women's health, family planning, and fertility awareness. Just as an orchestra needs a conductor, the female reproductive cycle relies on precise coordination from various organs and hormones. The hypothalamus, pituitary gland, ovaries, and uterus all play vital roles in this monthly cycle. Each phase of the cycle is characterized by specific hormonal changes that influence the uterine lining and egg development. Think of it as a monthly preparation for a possible guest. Every month, the body sets the stage, hoping to welcome a fertilized egg. If the guest doesn't arrive, the body cleans house and prepares for the next cycle. This cycle continues from puberty until menopause, marking a woman's reproductive years. By understanding the different phases of this cycle and the hormones involved, women can gain valuable insights into their bodies and reproductive health. The hypothalamus and pituitary gland are the masterminds behind this intricate symphony. Located in the brain, they act as the conductors, sending signals to the ovaries to initiate the cycle. The hypothalamus releases gonadotropin-releasing hormone, or GnRH, a crucial messenger that travels to the pituitary gland. Receiving the GnRH signal, the pituitary gland releases two important hormones, follicle-stimulating hormone, or FSH, and luteinizing hormone, or LH. These hormones act as messengers, traveling through the bloodstream to the ovaries, the main stage for this biological performance. FSH and LH stimulate the ovaries to start producing other hormones, primarily estrogen and progesterone. These hormones are responsible for the development of the uterine lining and the maturation of the egg within the ovary. Think of FSH and LH as the stagehands, setting the stage for the main performance in the ovaries. Their release is carefully timed and regulated by the hypothalamus and pituitary gland, ensuring the cycle progresses smoothly. The ovaries are the stars of the show, responsible for producing hormones and nurturing the developing egg. Each woman has two ovaries located on either side of the uterus. Inside the ovaries, thousands of tiny sacs called follicles each hold an immature egg. Responding to the hormonal cues from the pituitary gland, one follicle, occasionally more, begins to grow larger and mature. This dominant follicle will eventually release an egg during ovulation. Meanwhile, the uterus, a pear-shaped organ in the pelvis, prepares for the possibility of a fertilized egg. The uterine lining, called the endometrium, thickens and becomes enriched with blood vessels and nutrients under the influence of estrogen and progesterone. This creates a welcoming environment for a potential embryo to implant and grow. The ovaries and uterus work in perfect harmony, their actions dictated by the ebb and flow of hormones. This synchronized performance ensures that the body is prepared for the possibility of pregnancy each month. The menstrual phase, often considered the start of the cycle, is marked by the shedding of the uterine lining. This typically lasts for about 3 to 7 days and is what most women recognize as their period. During this phase, levels of estrogen and progesterone are at their lowest. As these hormones decline, the thickened lining of the uterus begins to break down. This results in the shedding of blood, tissue, and mucus through the vagina. While it might seem like the end, it's actually the beginning of a new cycle. As the lining is shed, the hypothalamus is already sending out signals to the pituitary gland to release FSH. This marks the beginning of the next phase, the proliferative phase. The menstrual phase, though often viewed negatively, is a natural and essential part of the reproductive cycle. Think of it as the body hitting the reset button, clearing the stage for a new performance in preparation for a potential pregnancy. It's a sign of a healthy reproductive system and a reminder of the incredible capabilities of the female body. Section 5. Building the crescendo, the proliferative phase. The proliferative phase follows the menstrual phase and typically lasts for about 7 to 10 days. During this phase, the pituitary gland releases FSH, stimulating the growth of several follicles in the ovaries. Each follicle contains an immature egg, and the increase in FSH encourages their development. As the follicles grow, they release estrogen. Estrogen, the key hormone in this phase, promotes the thickening of the uterine lining, preparing it for a potential pregnancy. The lining becomes rich in blood vessels and nutrients, creating a nourishing environment for a fertilized egg. Estrogen also plays a crucial role in promoting cervical mucus production. The cervix, located at the lower end of the uterus, produces mucus that changes throughout the cycle. During the proliferative phase, the mucus becomes thin and watery, making it easier for sperm to travel through the cervix and reach the egg. Think of this phase as the build-up in a musical piece. The tempo increases, the instruments join in one by one, and the anticipation grows. Similarly, in the proliferative phase, the body is actively preparing for the main event, ovulation. Section 6, reaching the climax, ovulation. Ovulation is the main event of the female reproductive cycle, the climax of the hormonal symphony. It typically occurs around day 14 of a 28-day cycle, although the exact timing can vary. During ovulation, a mature egg is released from one of the ovaries. The surge in LH, triggered by the high levels of estrogen, is the primary driver of ovulation. This hormone surge causes the follicle to rupture, releasing the mature egg into the fallopian tube. The fallopian tubes, thin tubes connecting the ovaries to the uterus, act as pathways for the egg to travel towards the uterus. Once released, the egg is viable for about 12 to 24 hours, waiting for potential encounter with sperm. If fertilization occurs, the fertilized egg will travel down the fallopian tube and implant itself in the prepared lining of the uterus. Ovulation is a critical window for conception, and understanding its timing can be helpful for women who are trying to conceive or avoid pregnancy. Various methods, such as tracking basal body temperature and monitoring cervical mucus, can help predict ovulation. Section 7. The soothing melody, the luteal phase. After ovulation, the cycle enters the luteal phase, a period of about 10 to 14 days. During this phase, the ruptured follicle, now called the corpus luteum, remains in the ovary and begins to produce progesterone. Progesterone, the dominant hormone of this phase, plays a crucial role in maintaining the uterine lining. It ensures the lining remains thick, receptive, and richly supplied with blood vessels and nutrients, creating an ideal environment for a fertilized egg to implant. Progesterone also causes the cervical mucus to thicken, forming a plug that prevents sperm and bacteria from entering the uterus. If fertilization occurs, the developing embryo will produce human chorionic gonadotropin, or HCG, the hormone detected in pregnancy tests. HCG signals the corpus luteum to continue producing progesterone, maintaining the pregnancy. If fertilization doesn't occur, the corpus luteum shrinks and stops producing progesterone. This drop in progesterone triggers the shedding of the uterine lining, marking the beginning of the next menstrual cycle. The luteal phase is a crucial period for potential implantation and the early stages of pregnancy. Section 8. A duet or a solo fertilization and pregnancy. Fertilization, the union of sperm and egg, is a remarkable feat of biology. If a sperm successfully reaches the egg in the fallopian tube and penetrates its outer layer, fertilization occurs. The fertilized egg, now called a zygote, begins to divide rapidly as it travels down the fallopian tube towards the uterus. Upon reaching the uterus, the developing embryo, now a cluster of cells called a blastocyst, implants itself into the prepared uterine lining. This marks the beginning of pregnancy. The implanted embryo will continue to grow and develop, eventually becoming a fetus. If fertilization doesn't occur, the egg disintegrates and the corpus luteum stops producing progesterone. This triggers the shedding of the uterine lining, marking the start of a new menstrual cycle. The body then begins its preparations for the next opportunity for conception. Understanding the process of fertilization and the hormonal changes that occur during early pregnancy is essential for those seeking to conceive or understand the intricacies of reproduction. It highlights the remarkable coordination of biological events that lead to the creation of a new life. Section 9. The importance of understanding the music. Understanding the female reproductive cycle is not just about biology, it's about empowering women with knowledge about their bodies. By understanding the different phases of the cycle, the hormones involved, and the signs of ovulation, women can make informed decisions about their reproductive health. This knowledge is crucial for family planning, whether a woman wants to conceive or prevent pregnancy. Tracking ovulation can increase the chances of conception for those trying to get pregnant, while awareness of fertile periods can inform contraceptive choices. Furthermore, understanding the cycle can help women recognize any irregularities or potential issues. Changes in menstrual flow, unusual pain, or irregular cycles can be signs of underlying medical conditions that require attention. By being in tune with their bodies, women can seek timely medical advice when needed. In conclusion, the female reproductive cycle is a testament to the remarkable capabilities of this human body. It's a complex and fascinating dance of hormones orchestrated to create the possibility of new life. By understanding this symphony of hormones, women can take charge of their reproductive health and make informed decisions about their bodies and their futures.